Why is everyone using this new YouTube automation title strategy? In this video, I'm going to uncover 5 title frameworks that you can use to write viral video titles for your YouTube channel. The title of your channel can make or break it, and especially in combination with the thumbnail, it can be the difference between getting 0 views and hundreds of thousands of views. Now, what is important here is understanding how titles are made, how the formats of titles are made. And I'm going to show you a method that I use at the end of this video that shows you how you can actually keep track of title formats, show which title formats you can use in your channel, and then basically make a backlog of video titles that will guarantee you to go viral. Okay, so we're going to dive into that right now and here. And the tool that we are using for this today is Creator Hooks. I will put the link for this in the description below. It's a free newsletter that basically every week comes out with 5 new title formats and breaks down why these videos went viral, what thumbnail they use, what title they use, how this title is built up, and how you can replicate it for your own topic, title, or video. So in this case, the intro of my video and the title was like, why everyone is trying this new YouTube strategy. I made it YouTube title strategy, basically, right? So you always want to look, you never want to reinvent the wheel, basically. You always want to look at what worked in the past and then mimic that for your own channel. You don't want to steal from others, but you want to get the inspiration, how they did it, and how you can replicate that success. Sort of use the psychological cues in the videos or in the thumbnails that exist to make new thumbnail titles and videos. And you see this often with big creators, just like with songs, basically, right? If someone comes out with a famous song, like a viral song, very often it's sampled from a song from like 50 or 60 years ago. And they just remake it with their own style because it seemed to work in the past, so they redo it in their own style. And that's the same with YouTube titles and thumbnails. So I'm going to show you how this would look. Okay, so we go for the first one here, planter proof. So it basically shows the thumbnail, and then the title. Why everyone is grabbing these huge planters from Dollar Tree. Genius, outdoor patio, do it yourself. And then this is a super busy thumbnail, Dollar Tree, deal alert. There's a lot of like dopamine, like hacking sort of, I wouldn't make it as busy as this one, but it seems to work. So the framework is, why is everyone doing a certain activity? So in my case, it was like, why is everyone writing YouTube titles like this right now? And then here it shows you why this works so well. So desire. So this audience is into like huge planters. It's probably like gardening or something. So the audience loves that, when it comes to YouTube, people want to know how to write viral YouTube videos, how to make good thumbnails, how to go viral. So depending on your niche, you can change it to what your niche likes. Now, curiosity, how does this title build curiosity? These planters are huge and make them more intriguing and unique. So maybe usually they're a lot smaller. So this huge one might be special in this market. And then it opens a look and makes you wonder why everyone is grabbing these planters. So hopefully that is what this title did too. You're wondering, okay, why is everyone writing YouTube titles this way? Is this a viral new method? And should I also get into it to make my channel explode, right? So how can you take this thumbnail? So now you can start making the formats for it in your own niche. So why everyone is visiting a small European country, why everyone is grabbing this new Callaway driver, why everyone is writing YouTube channels or YouTube titles like this, excuse me. Basically what you want to do is make an Excel sheet like I have right here. So you want to find viral videos in your niche or outside of your niche and write them down. And then you want to write down the title framework. So in this case, the most terrifying man of the Vietnam War, the most terrifying entity of a specific event. 12 signs you're more attractive than you think. 12 signs a specific person or someone is more attractive, good looking, bad looking, whatever, has a big nose, good eyes, bright eyes, white teeth than you think. So you just want to make these frameworks and then you want to fill in the gaps for the titles. And if you do this, you will find new viral videos, you will find titles, and whenever you make new videos, you can just go to your list of frameworks, and if you have a topic about a certain if you have a video about a certain topic, you can just fill in the gaps. So the worst thing your audience wants to do will surprise you. So in here, you can fill in something like the worst things about writing YouTube titles that will surprise you. And then you can make your video around that. So you just want to have those frameworks so it makes it easier for you to write good titles that have been proven before by people. And ideally, if you do have these and you also put the links of the videos you find in there, you can take inspiration from the thumbnails that they are making. So you can basically replicate the thumbnail ID too, or use the same psychological triggers to make the thumbnails. Now, a third thing you can do is, while everyone is, so you pick a piece of the title and you go to a tool like 1 of 10, which basically shows you outliers for certain videos, which is very important in YouTube. So this red bar here shows you the outlier score, which in this case, let's say this video here got 450 times more views than the average view count on this channel. So you can take your frameworks and basically put them in this tool, and then you can see for which videos and titles this is working. So why does everyone seems to be missing this? We're in trouble. That's, for example, an example, 510 views. Let's see if we also can find why everyone is always obsessed with me. First world problems, I have to say. I'm sorry, the wizard list. But so you see that these are the concepts that people used before on other videos. Now, in this case, it was like an activity. Well, I don't think an activity is like being obsessed with that person. It kind of is, but it's a bit of a weird activity, I guess. Why everyone is wrong, why everyone is so unhappy, why everyone is so isolated, why everyone is broke. See, why everyone is so broke has been done a lot. So you can actually verify the title frameworks by putting some of the keywords in 1 of 10, and then it will show you other niches that has used these frameworks to actually verify if it really works. Why everyone seems to have more money than you think or than you. So you find the viral videos, you write down the frameworks, and then you verify it for other markets with a tool like 1 of 10. And you just rinse and repeat that so that you build up your backlog of frameworks. And then you can, once you start making videos, let's say for this video about YouTube titles, maybe I pick like 3 or 4 of these frameworks and then write the title for this video with those frameworks and just put it in my description. And every 2 or 3 days, I can switch over the title to see which one hits best with my market. All right, let's go to number 2, spicy take, the most hated eating channel on TikTok. So the title is the most hated eating channel on TikTok. The framework is the most hated entity. Now, why does this work? Negativity. People love drama, controversy, and negativity on YouTube and social media. They like the juice, right? Curiosity. Instead of saying the channel name, the seller gives it an extreme unique label. So I could name this video, for example, the most hated YouTube title strategy on YouTube, for example. I don't know if that would work because it's kind of a negative. Well, we want to write in a positive here. So tell your audience about the most hated or similar negative thing in your space. The most controversial workout routine on Instagram, the most hated game in 2025, the most hated YouTube titles in 2025, for example, I could use here. Now we can again fact check it, the most hated. Let's see what comes up. So the most hated YouTube videos, the most hated man in Hollywood, the most hated deck of all time, the most hated teenager in the world. See, these are already getting really good views. The most hated Call of Duty, the most hated vs most loved football players. In all types of niches, they're using these. The most hated football player, most hated vs most loved Jordans, most loved rappers, most loved hated face reveals, most hated NBA players. And as you can see here, like, look, this style is working right now, right? Like left the devil, right, like the angel with the thing on his head. And multiple channels are using this, but in different markets. So that just goes to show like how people always reuse the titles and the thumbnails of videos. Let's go to the third one. Oh, this is an ad. Here it all changes. Why everything in retirement changes if you have a pension. Retiring with a pension. Why everything in an activity changes if you have a specific situation. So what is going to change? Why everything in retirement changes if you have a pension. Okay. So it really targets people that are like towards retiring, and then what their life can change if they have this specific one thing, right? So that really talks to an audience, makes them curious to what that thing is that changes if you have a specific thing. Now let's see some other examples here. Why everything in your job hunt changes if you have a master's degree. Why everything on YouTube changes if you have a real business. why everything on YouTube changes if you write titles like this, for example, I could use. So even just from those 3 examples, I could make 3 different YouTube titles for this video, for example, right? And I actually quite like this one. Why everything on YouTube changes if you write titles like this. And then here I could put my face in here. I could like make a YouTube graph with views going up right here, and then the text could be growing on YouTube or something, or viral on YouTube, for something like that, for example. We could do one more. Why everything. You can do this in 1 of 10, by the way, which is a paid tool, but you can also just do it on the YouTube search bar, and some of the same things will probably come up too. So this is just everything is changing, pretty basic. Don't really see anything really great here. It's really short titles in this case. Yeah, not the greatest examples here. That's fine. It doesn't always work, but it depends on the title, of course, right? Okay, let's look for another one. This is why 99% of amateurs don't create club head speed. So this is why 90% of amateurs don't get a desired activities. So you could say with YouTube, this is why 99% of YouTube videos don't go viral. I could also make that the title for this video, for example. This is why 99% of amateurs don't the desired activity. So what is it with YouTube? Like going viral, getting monetized, making money, reaching 100,000 views or something, right? So it's also like always using the words this or these is always good to like open loops for curiosity. It's a desire, people want to reach something, and then the FOMO of not reaching is like 99% of people will never reach this. So here, why 99% of beginners don't take beautiful photos, amateur investors don't beat the market, new YouTubers don't go viral or write bad titles or something, right? So these are, honestly, this list from today is very good for like sort of educational, make money kind of videos like I'm making right now, like how to write these titles, right? So last one. What happens to new cars that never sell behind the dealer lot? What happens to a new entity that never gets an activity done with? So it's a question. It's a little counterintuitive. Why would new cars never sell? It's a pretty like unique topic, right? It's like these random questions people sometimes like on YouTube if it's to a topic that they are interested in. So let's say how we can use this ourselves. So what happens to unreleased movies inside producer files? What happens to filet mignons that get sent back to the kitchen? Like these are, I think these are fun, like in real life videos that you could make. Maybe for YouTube automation is a bit more difficult, but you can still do it with real life materials from others if you'd want to. Now they also show a flop of the week, so what not to do basically. The cost of letting go, why retirement after 60 is so hard. And then he says like why this flop. First, it's too vague. The cost of letting go isn't specific or clear enough to grab the audience attention. It's too complicated. Why retirement after 6 is so hard. It's pretty like in-depth title, right? Write short, clear, and punchy emotional titles for your videos. That's basically the gist of this list. So my message to you is actually start, first of all, subscribe to this Creator Hooks. Link for that is in the description. It's free. There's also a paid version, but you don't really need it at start. Start making your own title framework sheet. If you want this one, you can go to my school. You can download it in there. I will send the link for that too. And then third of all, either verify your thumbnails and titles with a tool like 1 of 10. Link is in the description for that too. Or just go on YouTube Organic and start looking for titles and videos in your market on there. That's a free tool, but I feel like this is a bit quicker and easier. And you can also save all the videos in folders right here. Now listen, if you want to learn how to make better YouTube automation videos, if you are interested in starting and scaling your automation channel and actually implementing all these things, I actually have a limited time deal on my Faceless Tuber School right now. Usually it's $50 a month. I'm having a 50% off deal for this month, and you get 3 free one-on-one coaching calls with me if you join on the yearly plan. So the yearly plan is just $300 instead of like $600 if you pay for the full year. If you want, you can see some client testimonials right here that I have up on my personal YouTube channel too, of people doing anywhere between $3,000 to $15,000 a month using our 5M framework, in which I basically walk you step by step through how to set up a YouTube automation channel correctly. You can actually see the program right in here in the premium program. This is a step-by-step guide with downloadable shields, with files, with downloadable files that walk you through how to start and scale step by step. You can ask me questions through the chat, and I promise you that if you do the one-on-one coaching calls with me on the yearly plan, you will have a viral niche found, and I will guide you in the right direction of how to actually monetize this and make good money with it, okay? Let me know in the comments which title you like the best from today's video, and I hope to see you in the next one.